Okay, hello there everybody. This is of course Nick Dutch, and I'm showing you a bit of software today, which is one of the pieces of software that I use to create some of the music which I've placed on this channel. Now, I don't actually know anything about music or all that much. Okay, I did about like grade 1 piano when I was like knee high to a grasshopper. I tried to play the trumpet when I was in my teens and failed miserably. And then in my 20s, I very drunkenly played the tin whistle and the Irish drum very badly in folk clubs when I had too much beer. So essentially my musical history when I was young basically was like the least productive you could possibly imagine. But thanks to this being the 21st century and computer technology, music making is a damn sight easier than it was when I was young. So I'm just going to show you some of the things that I know. I'm going to go to File, click on New in MuseScore. MuseScore is spelled M-U-S-E-S-C-O-R-E. And then it just asks you for a title. So we're going to call this one Play About, because I'm just going to play about. And I'm even going to spell it badly. O-U-T, there we go. I could put a subtitle stuff there, composer, yeah, okay. Nick Dutch, lyricist, non-copyright, 2013. And at the bottom there it says there, create new score from scratch. That's what I'm going to go for, okay? And I'm just going to go nice and simple. Keyboards, go down to keyboards and go to piano. To the right, in the middle, click on adds. And it's got staff 1, treble clef and bass clef. And I've highlighted bass clef and I'm going to click remove. So it's just treble clef, just to make it nice and easier. I mean, you could add whatever you wanted and create a score for an entire orchestra if you were that clever. I'm not, funnily enough. Well, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Now, the next window here is key signature. When you got this, I mean, if you don't know about what these symbols are, I mean, these ones that look like the crosshatch symbol, those are sharps. Okay, if you mouse over each one of these, it'll tell you the name of the scale. So the top left-hand one is G major or E minor. The second one from the left at the top is D major or B minor. Now, I'm not quite creative enough to have a piece of music which has got like 7 sharps in it. I'm not that bright, okay? So I'm going to go for this one here, which is D minor or F major. Why? Because I like the sound that it makes, basically, okay? I'd actually recommend you just use this one, which is C. Don't know. Actually, what the hell? We'll just go for C major today, shall we? So I'm going to click the next button. Now, time signature, it says 4/4, which essentially means 4 beats in a bar. In reality, you probably don't need to know much more than 3 beats in a bar or 4 beats in a bar. If you want 3 beats in a bar, just go down one so it says 3 on the left-hand window. Okay? I don't even know what a anarchresis bar is, so I'm not going to tick that particular box. And at the bottom there it says bars 12. Well, you might want to copy and paste bits of music around. So let's try and increase that to 48. Not because you're going to use them all, but it'll be fun just to see what you could do. Anyway, going to click on finish, and hey presto, the score is going to be created. This is where it gets interesting because it's taken up a little bit of the screen, and you want to place the notes on the leaf with great precision. So I'm just going to press or hold down the Ctrl button, and with my finger on the mouse wheel, I'm just going to roll it forward, and then that blows the stave up massively. Now I'm going to click and hold down with my left mouse button and drag it down, so we've got this bar here in front of me, nice and clear. Hold down Ctrl again, mouse wheel forward, blow it up even more. Now that bar there that you can see there, that's called a rest, as I'm sure you know, and when it's hanging down from the 1, 2, 3, 4th bar line, that means it's a 3. Is it? Well, either way, it's a rest which takes up all the beats in the bar. We got 3, 4, or number 3 beats in the bar, so basically each rest is going to be 3 beats in the bar. Mouse up to the top left and click on whichever one of those notes you want to break things down into. Okay, The quarter note, as it's called, is one beat in the bar, which is the black circle with a stem on it. Then the one to the left of that, which MuseScore calls an eighth note, is half of the quarter note. So that's a crotchet and a quaver. That's what you need to know. If you mouse over them, it gives you the name, so it's dead easy. The 16th note is half of the quaver, okay? And the 32nd note is half of the 16th note, which was the semiquaver, which was of course half of the quaver, which was half of a quarter note, which was the crotchet. Alright, just think in terms of crotchets, it's much easier. The half note is the circle with a hole in it with a stem on it. That's 2 beats. Okay, so that's twice the crotchet, the quarter note. And then one to the right of that, being a circle with a hole in it without a stem, is a whole note or semibreve. Okay, so that's basically 4 beats, because it's twice the minim, which is 4 times the quarter note being the crotchet. Okay, so those are the notes you're going to use. We're in the key of C, which means no sharps and no flats to make it nice and easier. And I'm going to, now I've highlighted that particular rest, I'm going to click on the quarter note being the crotchet. Okay, so we now have a crotchet rest, which is the squiggly line here, which is a 1 beat, followed by this particular rest, which is now in blue, which is sticking up from the 3rd line, which is the other 2 beats in the bar. And as you can see on the top left hand side, the half note, the minim, is actually indented, showing that that is a 2-beat note representing the 2-beat rest. Okay, so I'm going to click on the crotchet symbol again, so we now have 3 separate crotchets. Now when placing more or less each note, we can take the cursor up and we can click on the number, or sorry, the letter N. Okay, and that gives me the ability to put a note there. So I can now move my cursor up and down that particular point, or that particular point, or that particular point, and place my crotchet note there. I'm going to put it on that position there. Okay? Right, so we have 1 note placed there. I've still got notation up on the top left highlight indented, and we still have the quarter note indented. So I can then place the next note down there, which I'm going to place on this line. Okay? And then the next one I'm going to place there. Now I want to get out of note annotation, so I move my cursor up and I click on the letter N all over again. Now if I want to play back what I've just done, I put my cursor on the first notes, okay, and I move my cursor up to the top and I press the play button. Okay, and it plays what I have typed in. Now if I like what I've heard, then that's a good thing. If I don't like what I've heard, then that's a bad thing, and I can edit it. I hold down the left mouse button so I can move the score back along, so I've got something to work with and play around with. Let's say I want to lower the position of all 3 notes, transpose them all down 1. What I can do is I'll just use my mouse button to click on the first note of the sequence. I can hold down the shift button and I can use the right cursor key to include the notes that I want to manipulate. Okay, once again I'll press the shift button. Well, actually, now I just use the cursor keys and I'll just click them down 1. Okay, so now you can see they've all gone down 1 unit note, which for the second note is a half tone, so we got a flat. Okay, and for the third note is also a half tone, so that's also a flat. Go down again. So now we've got a problem, because the final note, that's where I wanted it to be, that's on middle C. This one here is where I wanted it to be, which is the one above middle C, which is D, and this one here is a flat. Now I don't want it to be a flat, so I want it to be the whole note. So now I've deselected all of them, and I'm just selecting that left hand note, and I'm just going to raise it up 1 by using my cursor keys, pressing the up. Okay, right, once again I want to zoom out now, so it's hold down Ctrl CTRL and mouse wheel back a few. Now hold down the shift key, sorry, press the left button with my index finger of my right hand, then shift the score up, because I want to focus in on the next bar. Alright. Highlight the rest. It's hanging down from the bar line, so we know it's for this particular score it's 3/4. There's 3 beats in the bar. That's a 3-beat rest. Right. So now I can click on the quarter note to split it up. So we got the quarter note rest, which is 1 beat, followed by this, which is of course a 2-beat rest, and I can then click on the singular beat, the quarter note again, the singular beat note again, and I can think about placing more notes on the stave. Click on the letter N on the top left hand corner, which toggles note inputs. Okay, so I can now start placing notes on the stave again. Okay. Move my cursor up, click on the letter N again, so we're back out of note input. Now we can play these back and just see what it sounds like. I think that's okay, but it's not quite what I had in mind. So I'm going to use my cursor and select the one on the right there, and I'm going to lower it a bit using my cursor keys, not the mouse, not the buttons on the mouse, but just the arrow keys. Okay, so now I've got something which I think will sound better. Hold down the mouse button again, and so now we got ourselves a couple of notes going. So it looks quite nice, but I wanted to try and get a bit more melodic, so maybe I want to edit that particular note and turn that one into half a crotchet. So I've clicked on the quaver button, and that's turned that note into a quaver. But of course that means that there is a half a crotchet rest. That's a quaver rest you see there. So you got 1 beat, half a beat. The other half a beat is there, followed by your next beat down there. Okay, so that sounds like. Very interesting, okay? Now you can play about with this. I mean, what I've just done is shown you the basics, and then you can get into like chord progression when let's say I just wanted to erase these notes. Hold down Shift, right, press delete. They're gone. Okay? Let's move these around a bit. Okay. Right, so those notes are actually on, those notes are now on the chord of C. We can tell that because we've got the lowest note being the C. We're in the actual scale of C itself. First note, third note, fifth note. Okay, so if we want to do a 1-4-5 chord progression thing with those notes, we could select all 3 of them, use our cursor key, our cursor, go up to edit, go down to copy, go into this bar, click on the rest, go back to file, so go to edit, click paste, and then we can raise the notes so that they will be on the 4th. So they're currently on the 1st because that's essentially where you're starting off from. Okay, let's have a look and see how that's gone. So first is the middle C, then that second is D, third is E, fourth is F, so that's resting on the F. Those are in proportion, transposed. So that's quite good. None of them are sharps or flats. It's not getting complex. We don't have to edit where they're at. So do the same thing again. Select this, go up to edit, click paste, and there they go again, back on the 1st. Okay, now we want the next lot to be 5th chord file, edit, sorry, it shouldn't be file, it should be edit, and go down to paste. Right, there we go. Right, so now we've got ourselves a short piece of music. Hold down Ctrl, mouse wheel out. See what that sounds like. I don't know if the audio is going to come through on this because of the way I'm doing the recording, but let's have a quick look and see. Now that actually sounds quite good, but remember what I've done there is use the same 3 notes. Okay, but I've just transposed them onto, for the first bar, that's on the 1 of 1-4-5 chord progression. Okay, this second one is on the 4 of 1-4-5 chord progression. I've chosen to put this one on the 1 of 1-4-5 chord progression, and this is on the 5th. Okay, so if you take the same pattern and you carry on copying it and pasting it, you can actually get something that looks quite nice. And then maybe if you put more bars in, you can create something different, something bigger, something more harmonic, and maybe as you go along you might want to edit it so that the rhythm or the meter of the music is different, and you just play, because this is like one of the greatest toys on the face of the planet. And then what you can do is you can export it with this particular bit of software, export it as a, like a, what kind of exports can you do? I can't remember. Okay. Alright, you can go save as. Let's click on there. And let's see what it says. Obviously it says at the bottom there, compress MuseScore format, but it also allows you to do MIDI files, so you can put it through Mod Plug Tracker, which is available at modplug.com, and then you can add all kinds of instruments to it, which is amazing. And of course you can do WAV files, and if you get a free MP3 converter, you can convert it to MP3 and then put that through any other bit of software which does that kind of thing, like the wonderful UJam website. Okay, so that's just a few fun things you can do with music to create some amazing effects, and that's basically what I've done with some of my music. Hope that's been interesting. Bid you good fortune and God bless.